all of us sitting here can decide that we are going to define ourselves primarily on the base of the fact that we are part of one race.
So if we want to bring about the change that we need to desire in companies, we need to change mindset and behaviors. So we can't just focusing on behaviors alone.
So leadership is about identifying potential, attach value to it, and develop it to the maximum.
I came across a quote by a Russian author, but ultimately what he says about work is this: if one wanted to crush and destroy a man, to mete him out the most terrible of punishments, all that one would have to do is make him do work that was completely and utterly devoid of usefulness and meaning.
I think the important thing is, what I'm trying to say is, you lead automatically because you're born to lead. You don't lead automatically because you're appointed to lead.
I think if you're arrogant, you always look down on people. And if you miss, by example, if you miss the person, you'll see a carpet, you see nothing. Being humble and you look up to people, if you miss the person, at least you'll see the light, you'll see heaven. So for me, it's that kind of leadership for me was who I am.
Where's Tinus from? What's the story?
It's quite a boring story. I grew up in Nelspruit in Lowveld. Met my wife when she was in grade 6, standard 4. We married now for 38 years.
That's almost for as long as I've been alive. Right?
I started at the land bank, and then I joined AFCRI. So when I was appointed head of the corporate finance division, it sort of changed. Then I realized you don't have to fight to get to the top. I mean, there's other ways in doing that. But these days, the correct answer, I suppose, is work smarter, not harder.
Career-wise, is there anything you would do differently, looking back?
Maybe join AFCRI earlier.
Chris is not in the room.
But for me, I think there's even a higher step that you can go. If you see yourself as useful, I think it's even better than successful.
I had the privilege to work with Tinus, who I can say is the epitome of servant leadership.
Leadership it's a tool. I mean, it's a tool to influence people, to make them better, to make them better. Focus on them, not only on yourself. It's about something bigger than yourself. Yeah. But I think it's enough about me, Bongani. Let's talk about the future. Let's talk about how you see the future. How do you see we take AFCRI forward?
How I see AFCRI. Okay, so maybe let's think about it as South Africa, right? So for me, it's always the context, and then we can get to, as you say, the smaller chunks. And I think for me as managers in this group, you know, we are called to manage within a context. So a manager who's managing in Singapore, in India, or the US has a different context to us. Our context is what we inherited, what we're sitting with here. You can hear where I'm going, right? It's the elephant in the room. So, but I think what's comforting for all its ills, it's that it's what we inherited. Not one person in this room has created the mess we're sitting with as a country, right? This racial thing between us, it's actually something we all inherited. Not all of us, not one person here is old enough to have contributed to the policies of the past, right? So it's us needing to break the barriers of sameness and allow that to unleash a further 75% capacity of this country. This is what we achieved with 25. We need to remember that as we unleash each other and we really open up the space for all of us to thrive as a collective, there's no way the business would fail. I got something for you in the interest of cultural exchange. So I promised you this thing for the longest time.
It's a kettle.
And Tinus had said to me that he's never had hot wings.